Throw the sheets in the laundry, hun.
I had been trying to make this other movie a few years before, and it ended up falling apart as movies tend to do. And the people who were helping me with the movie said, "Come back to us with an idea that we could maybe make for a price that's funny," because I tend to make funny things. And I had been thinking about this idea just of a time loop movie, and kept on coming back to the idea of what's the most embarrassing thing that you could have to go back to. And also being a huge fan of 80s teen comedies. I was raised in the 80s, that's when I was a teenager. Actually, I guess I was more of a teenager, I think in the 90s, but anyway. I think John Hughes movies I loved, and like Porky's and those hard bodies, very, those like hard sex comedies. So merge the idea of a time loop comedy with the teen movie, which had been the ones that I loved, and came back to the idea of what could be the worst thing what could be one of the worst things as a teenage boy that could happen to you, and then having to go through your failed first attempt at having sex, and then also having your mom walk in on you post a sexual wet dream.
Focus on one thing you can still get into. Angela.
Miss Marconi moved to test up. She's getting a mammogram tomorrow.
Did you say mammogram?
Yeah, and how'd you make it sound so hot?
Mammogram.
John Hughes is the master and the maestro, and so in the movies I love. And I mean, I don't ever expect my movie to be as good as his movies, but taking the fact that they're just the movies that I loved as a kid, so that was a clear place to start for me, and the inspiration for this movie. So I would think as inspiration, it's a good place to go from. Hopefully, my movie is at least 20% as good as his. But there's just a certain love about those movies, and I love. It's interesting. I don't know if it came across that way, but in the filmmaking style of those movies, there's something in the '80s films that have a little bit just of a scrappy feel to them, and I didn't intentionally set out to do that, but I think as indie movies go, you always inherently have that because of your this type of budget constraints you have. So I think hopefully you get that same kind of vibe.
Why are you dressed like Ellen DeGeneres?
I have my interview today.
Stay calm. You're gonna nail it.
So why do you want to go to Georgetown?
My mom and dad, they met there.
Alan happened to be in Atlanta while we were shooting, or while we were in prep, and he was working on this other movie, 42, which is a baseball movie about a black player, and Alan played this really hateful person, and he wanted to come in just to read on the part, and I was like, oh, it's amazing. I didn't think Alan would ever want to come in to read, and he came in, and the part of the character of Jack is that he is a very sad character. I don't want to give too much away. And Alan, having played this, he was in the midst of playing this really hateful person. I guess he was feeling really sad inside. So during the read, he just turned on the waterworks and just started crying hysterically. And we were like, oh my God, we were all laughing hysterically. And afterwards, he was like, all right. He's like, oh man, I'm just playing this character right now that I just do not like. So that just, I don't know where that came from. But we cast Alan right away after that.
I wake up, life kicks the out of me, and then I have an orgasm, and then I live the same day all over again.
Having sex is nothing you should take lightly.
I know that. I've had like 7 orgasms so far today.
Holy shit.
I'm gonna do my own laundry from now on.